Hello, hello, my dear friends, you've reached Elena's bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. She'll help improve your fitness, but there's also so much more. 'Cause here are just a few things that this channel has in store. There's bar and there's Pilates and there's belly dancing too. And many styles of yoga, so I'm sure there's one for you. Then watch her practice pianist string from right within her home. She's in such big condition, she'll outrun the metronome. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. They're the best place on the internet, the very best by far. It's not just the piano, but the ukulele too. The guitar and violin are even more that she can do. She does so many different things, it's hard not to lose track. I nearly didn't mention that she posts on her Substack. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. Yet controversial topics may be brought up for discussion, but try not to provoke her or she'll swear at you in Russian. And sometimes certain topics can make quite a big impression. So remember, you take part at your own risk and your discretion. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far. You might even meet Anita if you're quite a loyal fan. She's got a fixed male cat, but she's so desperate for a man. We've really got it all, then you couldn't ask for more. So sit right back and watch Elena shave a 3 or 4. Elena's Bar, Elena's Bar. The best place on the internet, the very best by far.
Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Bar in the Resurgence of Sanity. How are you doing, Steve, today?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. It's just you and me today. Well, we have Tacticus here. Good to see you, Tacticus. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. We have an interesting topic today. We are talking about what women don't understand about men. And we will probably touch up on the differences between female and male communities too, because I wrote a full article for you guys that I haven't published yet. So yeah, we are going to have fun. Remember to tell us what you think about the topic. Okay. Before we start, like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. I always forget to ask you to do that. And yeah, let's dive in, Steve. You suggested this title for the video.
Right. Now, here's another difference between men and women. She needed a thing to do. So I said, oh, here's this. And I emailed her the video.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, she does not have the video pulled up.
Oh, I can pull it up if you want me to.
Oh, yes. Are you ready?
Not yet. So give me a moment. Geez. Okay, you talk. I will prepare it.
How about I just pull it up?
Pull it up if you have it. Yes.
See?
Thank you, Steve.
How did I know this?
Of course.
Okay. I got it pulled up.
Okay, I'm editing it.
Okay, before we start this video, I gotta tell you something. At first, when I listened to this, I thought it was real. No. This never happened. It is a story. Somebody wrote this as a story. But we're still going to play it. Because I think this is very revealing about how men interact. So we're going to need some audience participation. If you think this is real, let us know. If you think some of this is bullshit, let us know. And then we're going to, critique it as we go.
Okay.
And see Elena's reaction to some of the things in here.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Okay, see if it's coming through fine.
Analysis. Wrote a piece last month about executive leadership that got cited in 3 academic papers. Feel like I've finally cracked the code on understanding how systems perpetuate themselves. The research is clear, the patterns are obvious, the conclusions write themselves. Men succeed because the game is rigged for them, not because they've figured out something I haven't. Been working on a long-form investigative piece about exclusive professional networks. The kind of access that determines who gets funding, who gets introduced to investors, who gets the real opportunities. My angle is simple and supported by data. These networks exclude women and then claim merit determines outcomes. Spent 3 months researching, sent out hundreds of interview requests. Most went unanswered, got a few polite deflections. One guy actually called me to explain I was asking the wrong questions, condescending prick. Then got an unexpected email from Christopher, a venture capitalist I'd interviewed 2 years ago for a different piece. I'd been tough but fair in that article, didn't quote him out of context like I could have.
Oh,
Dang,
damn
he's so
commercials.
cool. Now you're probably thinking that
He said he remembered me as someone who actually listens before drawing conclusions, which felt like backhanded praise. Offered me access to something called the Frontier Group. Described it as a quarterly gathering of investors, founders, and people building things. Said I could observe but not participate, take notes but not record, attend but not join. Made it clear this was a one-time offer and I'd be there as a guest, not a member. My first instinct was to be offended by the terms. But I needed primary sources, needed to see these spaces from the inside, agreed to his conditions while already planning how I'd frame this in the piece. The entitled gatekeeping, the artificial scarcity, the performance of exclusivity showed up at an unmarked building in a financial district, dressed professionally, but not trying to blend in. Wasn't trying to infiltrate, wasn't pretending to be something I wasn't. I was there as an observer, and I carried that role deliberately. Christopher met me in the lobby, brought me upstairs to a space that looked like a converted loft. Maybe 60 men scattered around, ranging from mid-20s to late 60s. No suits, mostly casual clothes, none of the performative wealth signals I expected. He introduced me to a few people as a writer working on a project. Didn't specify what kind. Most nodded politely and immediately went back to their conversations. No hostility, but also no performance for my benefit. It was jarring to be so thoroughly unremarkable to them. Settled into a corner with my notebook, ready to document the toxic dynamics I knew I'd witness. Started writing down observations, looking for the patterns of dominance and exclusion. First thing that struck me was how much controlled chaos filled the room. Men talking over each other, but somehow still communicating. Interruptions that weren't power plays, but enthusiasm. Watched one guy pitch an idea for solar panel efficiency to 3 others. They tore it apart immediately, found holes in his cost projections, questioned his supply chain assumptions, expected him to get defensive or shut down. Instead, he got more animated, started sketching on a whiteboard, adjusted his model in real time. One of the guys who'd been most critical suddenly offered a contact at a manufacturing company. Another pulled out his phone and sent an introduction email right there. The guy who'd been criticized thanked them and immediately moved to the next group. None of it looked like what I'd expected. No ego protection, no face saving, just rapid iteration and immediate resource sharing. Told myself this was probably staged for my benefit. Christopher had probably told everyone to be on their best behavior. Spent the next hour watching interactions that increasingly didn't fit my framework. Saw a 26-year-old kid explain blockchain.
Okay, let's stop right there. Remember, this is a story. Men interacting, kind of interrupting each other, but not to dominate, just back and forth, kind of a free-for-all.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody was dominating the conversation. Then 3 guys were talking about this idea, and they tore apart the guy's plan. Poked holes. Now, she said, he didn't get defensive. Well, a lot of men don't get defensive. Okay, I want my ideas tested. So then he adjusts. And then the other guys notice in the story, they weren't trying to dominate him, prove themselves better than him. They were in problem solving mode. What was their real intent? Helping this guy, finding out the problems. And if this was a woman who was doing the presentation and you criticized and just went after her assumptions and all that, she would take it personally.
Of course she would.
Guys do not take it personally. So this is an example that shows up in this story. So next we're going to hear about an interaction between a 26-year-old guy and a former CEO, 60 years old.
Architecture to a 60-year-old former CEO. The older man asked basic questions without any visible embarrassment about not knowing. Took notes on his phone, thanked the kid genuinely, introduced him to someone across the room, saw groups form and dissolve around problems. Someone would mention a challenge, and bodies would just drift over. They'd swarm the problem, throw solutions at it, argue about approaches, then scatter. No formal structure, no designated leader, just functional collaboration. Kept waiting for the dominance games, the status competition, the zero-sum thinking. Instead saw a weird abundance mentality I couldn't quite categorize. One founder mentioned he was hiring for a specific technical role. 3 different men immediately suggested candidates. One of those candidates was explicitly someone from another guy's company. He offered up his own employee without hesitation, said the opportunity was better for the person's growth. The founder doing the hiring thanked him and asked what he needed in return. The guy genuinely seemed confused by the question. This didn't match any model I'd built. During a break,
So guys, helping out other guys, looking out for an employee under him, probably respected that employee, and this guy, there was a better opportunity. Well, this is innate in a lot of men, leader men. I don't need to hoard resources. I can find somebody else. In fact, I can promote somebody else. If he's a good leader, he's got some bench depth there. He can promote another person into that. And if this guy is as good as he says and has that potential, he's going to find another opportunity anyway. So he moves on to you offer him up, he goes to the other company. You've kept that relationship. What I've learned, I'm 63 years old. I have learned that my connections matter. I go back and I work with people that I knew from college. I have worked for people that worked for me. When I was a pretty young engineer, I had 2 guys working for me as my assistants. One of them left, went to a consulting company, and later he hired me and he was my boss. Another guy left, went to work for somebody else. He came back and he was in a director role at the same pipeline company. And now I was a consultant working on the project that he was the director of. This stuff happens. Okay. Just keeping your network of people open keeps your options open. But women tend to guard resources. We think women value relationships. No. Well, yeah, they do, but it's a competitive relationship. Men value relationships differently. When you help another man to succeed, he actually remembers you, and it furthers that. When you help a woman to succeed, she may not repay that. when a woman who you've given everything to supported her because she's your wife, she decides to divorce you. Does she think about anything you've done for her over the past 10, 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
Male thinking is different. Right.
Yes, yeah.
Tactica says scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset. So the author of this story is I think he's getting the male existence kind of right. And he's showing some things here. Okay, let's continue.
Christopher asked how it was going. I gave him a non-committal answer, said it was interesting. He smiled like he knew exactly what I was thinking and walked away. The evening shifted to a different format. Someone dimmed the lights, and a man in his 50s stood up front. He talked for 20 minutes about a company he'd built and lost. Specific details about where he'd fucked up, what he'd missed, how he'd let ego drive decisions, described the moment he had to lay off 40 people because of his mistakes. His voice cracked twice, but he didn't stop. When he finished, the room was completely silent. Then someone asked a technical question about the decision-making process. Someone else asked about the emotional recovery. For an hour, they dissected this man's failure with surgical precision. But the tone wasn't cruel, wasn't mocking. They were extracting lessons, mining his pain for wisdom they could use. He answered every question with raw honesty, admitted things I would never admit in a public setting. And they treated his vulnerability like valuable data. Wrote in my notebook, performing humility to maintain group cohesion. But even as I wrote it, I knew it wasn't quite right. Left that first evening deeply unsettled.
Okay.
My article.
Okay, hold on there. Elena, have you seen this behavior among men?
Yeah.
Where?
In the red pill.
That's the right answer.
Yeah, well, and what women do is like they come in, they try to invade the space, and they start mocking men who are sharing stories so that other men can learn from these stories. That this kind of content, ladies, is not for you to begin with. If you don't like it, you can leave it.
So what do Plutarch, Nick, and I do? We get together on Wednesday nights and we talk about things. Have I made admissions of things that I've done that didn't work? Shouldn't have done that. Kind of fucked up there. That doesn't mean I'm responsible. Okay, men understand this. Doesn't mean I'm responsible for the divorce. But was I contributing to the eventual outcome? Of course I was. Nick has told his story. Now, since we're divorced and we told about failings we've had, you could brand us failures, but men don't do that generally.
Well, some men do. That the threat calls will blame you left and right for not satisfying your delusional, entitled whims.
Other men, no. Okay. Yeah, that's me. I've made those same mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are sharing their pain, their stories, their failures, so we can learn from it. And then in the red pill, yes. Do we add to that? Dissect, yeah, guy, you really screwed up here. Here's what you should have done instead. Oh, did you think this too? And he says, yeah. Okay. But we're not doing that to prove that we're a better man. We're not. We're doing that to help other men and relate to that guy and accept him for who he is, failures at all, because that's how a man is tested and becomes a better man. Do women do that, Elena?
you know what? Maybe they try. I give them the benefit of doubt, but the advice that they give, the conclusions that they reach based on their personal experience, I would stay away from that kind of advice. It's self-serving. Whatever they do, it's like they can say that they're trying to help out other women, but they, as far as I know, because women are guardian resources, right? They usually they don't want other women to succeed deep inside. They view any woman as a competition.
Right. So any admission among women
Mm-hmm.
gets filed away in the other women's head.
Yes,
She's
she can
got a
use it again.
Rolodex.
Yeah.
She's got a Rolodex of all the mistakes other people have made. And you can say something now, and 10 years later, she will shuffle through her Rolodex and come up with that failure that you admitted to. That's what women do in marriage, too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why, you know what? You can show your weakness to other men. As a man, you can show your weakness to other men. And you work through it, and okay, it's not held against you. If you show your weakness to a woman, even though she seems to accept it at the time, trust
Mm-hmm.
me, it's going in her Rolodex. And it can and will be used against you in the future. So you got to be very guarded about how vulnerable you want to be with a woman. You have to guard some of these things. That doesn't make you a dishonest man. It just makes you wise.
True, because any information, any weakness, any confession that you make that you somehow screwed up can be twisted and used against you. And I think even I would go as far as to say that even some TradCon men, they are so eager to blame men for all of the mistakes that, okay, maybe there were some things that men could do better before the divorce happened, right? But they are using it against the men who were zeroed out. It's female tactics.
It is. Absolutely it is.
Yeah. Well, let's keep watching. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Suddenly had a structural problem. The evidence I'd gathered didn't support the narrative I'd planned. Told myself I needed more data points, different contexts. Spent the next 2 months gaining access to other spaces. Used the contacts from that first evening, even though it felt compromising. Visited a trading floor where 7 guys ran a small hedge fund. Expected Wolf of Wall Street aggression, instead found monastic focus. They barely spoke to each other during market hours, communicated in abbreviated phrases and hand signals. Moved like a single organism responding to information. During lunch, watched them review the morning's decisions. They criticized each other's calls without any cushioning language. No praise sandwiches, no softening, just direct assessment. That was stupid. You saw the momentum shift and ignored it. The guy being criticized nodded, asked for clarification, adjusted his model. No defensiveness, no hurt feelings, just immediate integration of feedback. One of them asked me what I thought of their process. I said it seemed harsh. He looked genuinely confused, said harsh would be letting him keep making that mistake.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point, actually. You have to be harsh sometimes, and I'm not just talking about men here, but with women too, so that they stop doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It's the sign of insanity, right? But somehow for
Right.
women, you have to watch how you present it. They are tone policing you, right? You have to pat them in the back before you criticize them.
So women just try so hard not to hurt other women's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And women expect men not to hurt their feelings. Like hurting a woman's feelings is the worst thing in the world. But Elena, you've heard me say, you must hurt those you love to prevent them from experiencing harm.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Telling the truth is going to hurt them. You are intentionally hurting them
Yes.
to prevent harm. And that's what the guy said. Harsh harm, basically, would be letting him keep making that mistake.
Yeah.
So you're willing to hurt his feelings, correct him in brotherly love, basically. So you also need to correct your children with fatherly love. That's called discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So they learn, and you need to extend this type of patriarchy to your wife.
Yeah.
You need to correct her, enforce the boundaries to prevent her, to keep her from harm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
The care was in the directness, not despite it. My frameworks couldn't account for this. Visited a construction site where a crew was training apprentices. Expected hazing, expected exploitation of the younger guys. Instead saw a teaching culture that was rigorous and weirdly tender. Master electrician spent 40 minutes showing a 19-year-old how to read. Electrical load. Explained it 3 different ways until the kid got it. Never showed him patience, never made him feel stupid, but also never lowered the standard. When the kid made a mistake, correction was immediate and unambiguous. Watched another crew working on structural steel. The coordination required was insane. They moved around each other in tight spaces, handled dangerous equipment, communicated in shorthand. The trust was absolute because it had to be. One guy's competence was everyone's safety. During a break, asked one of the older workers about the culture. He said something that stuck with me. We're not nice to each other. We're good to each other. Spent weeks trying to figure out the difference. Gained access to a mentorship program in a law firm, specifically their litigation department. All male partners, all male associates in this particular practice group. My initial observation notes were full of assumptions about gatekeeping. Then sat in on a case preparation. 2-session. 6 lawyers tearing apart their own arguments. Role-playing the opposing counsel. Finding weaknesses. Stress testing logic. The associate who'd built the primary argument had to defend it against withering attack. They found a hole in his research. He admitted it immediately, no excuses. They rebuilt the argument together in real time. The senior partner made a point of crediting the associate's original framework, even while correcting its flaws. Watched them work until 2 in the morning. The hierarchy was clear, but the collaboration was genuine.
We're here for our convertible.
How about an SUV?
Junior associates challenged senior partners on legal theory. If you had a better argument, it didn't matter who you were. The status came from competence, and competence was ruthlessly evaluated. One associate asked me why I was really there. Told him about my project on professional networks and access. He said something that annoyed me. You're studying the door, not what's in the room.
What's that mean, Elena?
I'm not sure, Steve.
You're studying the door, not what's in the room.
Like entry level, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so she's a woman who thinks that there's just males using discrimination to keep women from succeeding, colluding
Okay.
together. And so she could do it if only she had access. That's the door. Access is the door.
The door, yeah. Uh-huh.
But what's in the room is the way men interact with each other. So you bring women into the room in a corporation. It's not the same room now, because now you have to be nice to people. You have to be nice to the women because they're going to get all butthurt if you say something critical of her ideas, and she's going to go to HR. So you got to dance around and you, okay, she's a woman supervisor or in charge of something, and there's a fatal flaw, you can't point out the fatal flaw because she'll get butthurt. So you kind of have to let it go. Well, now, though the business is less efficient, less profitable, there is not this focus on the task. It becomes focus on feelings, and the whole thing changed. So women can never really observe what happens when women are not part of the process, because women are like a catalyst. They come in, the process changes. So they can never really see what goes on in the male world when women aren't there.
Oh, this is what I keep saying to the ladies who want to come into the red pill. You're just a guest here. Know your place. Nothing is going to change just because you're here and disagree and dislike what the guys are saying. Or maybe you agree partially with what they are saying. But what you want to promote, but you want to promote your own bullshit narratives. Just shut up, listen, and learn. It's not your place. It's not your space.
Women always
go to the female community. Go to the female community. I was kicked out from one recently. I did share with you the evidence of the feedback that I received from some women. Sorry, Steve, I'm just going to bring it up here because women suck. You know, in their own communities, they fucking suck. They can't maintain their communities because of that reason, how they design everything based on feelings. They can't even provide constructive feedback. This defaults to calling people names. I've been called so many names, you know, in that community that I decided to leave.
When it's a male place, it's functional, it works. Women come into the space and say, you know, we should use some tablecloths. That would make it look so much cozier. And you know what? Some throw pillows over here would look nice.
Mm-hmm.
They try to change the environment.
They do.
When women come into the red pill, what are they doing? Tone policing. They're trying to change the environment. I'm like, oh, this would look so much nicer if we put a tablecloth.
Well, you know, Steve, they destroy
nice curtains.
Look, they destroy their own communities. Well, like you know, the dancing or like belly dancing community. It's completely fucked up. You know, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, ladies. You are totally toxic there. You've over-sexualized the activity that now I don't feel welcomed to practice it even publicly because of the feedback that I received, the hate that I got from these all welcoming and embracing belly dancing teachers. And, you know, it's like they can't even give constructive feedback. They just start trashing you. They start trashing your format. They start like hating on you because you're doing something different. If you're not practicing it their way, how they intend you to practice, you're not welcomed there. It's just the difference, guys, to show you the difference between male community. We are talking about male community here, right? And we are talking about female community. I just left one. And I don't want to be a part of any other female community out there.
In this story, there was the men who were erecting structural steel. They cannot compete because it would get somebody killed. They have to cooperate. They have to trust each other.
Yeah.
They can't, there's no time for drama or talking to that person. No, your life depends on their competence and you have to work together. So women think men are oh so competitive and it's all this cutthroat world. A lot of the time it's okay, men are competitive when they compete, but they cooperate most of the time. Women are really competitive almost all the time, but they veil it by being nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are nice. I mean, like they appear to be nice, and this is what can really mislead and upset women joining the community. They think, oh yeah, but like, wait, ladies, the moment you start doing something different that they don't agree with, watch how much hate they will have for you and how much they will off leash on you. You know. I've been getting this kind of feedback. It didn't just happen overnight, over the past few years that I've been teaching and practicing belly dancing, and there were only female viewers who were attending the class. It's not like I did it to get the male gaze, but if you look on social media, it's been over sexualized, and now it's associated with promiscuity and everything. I'm going to publish an article soon. I just need to make a few adjustments there. Yeah, and it's just sad what is happening, with fitness in general, and it's and how they.
Here's another thing in the red pill space. Women come in, and all of a sudden they want to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the men kind of are dismissive of the women. Why? Because shut the hell up.
Yeah, shut
You
up
just
and
show
learn.
up and you contribute. You want to contribute immediately. When men enter the red pill, they listen and they observe. And only after months, maybe a year or two, do they start to contribute. That's the majority of men. But women show up in the space, and immediately they're trying to
ladies,
contribute.
you have. It's fine. I've been saying it for like a few years now to the women that you come into the male space, you have no idea. You'd better shut up, listen, and learn for at least a few years. It took me years to understand, to read the books in the red pill, the books by Rollo Tomasi, the books by Api Thor, by other red pill content creators that I've read, talking to my husband, who is also red pill. It doesn't just happen overnight. You can't talk about red pill. You have no idea what you are talking about, especially if you are from the TredCon space. Like go there. Go preach to the TredCon men who will listen to you, who will worship the ground you walk on.
Well, let's continue.
Missed it immediately, but the comment lingered. Got access to a wilderness leadership course, one of those expensive programs for executives. Expected a corporate bonding exercise with manufactured challenges. 12 men, 1 guide, 8 days in backcountry. I was allowed to join as an observer, didn't participate in the exercises, watched them struggle with genuine physical challenges. Navigation, shelter building, food rationing, weather. The corporate hierarchies dissolved completely. The CEO who ran a billion-dollar company took orders from a middle manager who had actual wilderness skills. No ego about it, just recognition of relevant competence. Saw a guy have a complete breakdown on day 4. He sat down on the trail and started crying, said he couldn't do it, expected the group to leave him behind or mock him. Instead, they stopped, made camp early, sat with him, didn't coddle him, didn't tell him it was okay to quit. One guy said, "You can do this. You just don't believe it yet. We'll wait while you figure it out." They sat there for an hour while this man worked through whatever he was working through. Then he stood up and they kept going. Nobody mentioned it again, but something had shifted. The man who'd broken down was integrated differently, trusted more deeply. The vulnerability had been a test he passed, not a weakness he'd shown.
Okay. What happened here? This was a
Well, they
team.
didn't mock him for being vulnerable, and they didn't leave him behind.
Why?
Oh, because maybe from what I understand, men view it as a teamwork, like team effort, and they want the other men to catch up. Like they want to help men, they want men to succeed. And we recently started watching the movie, actually, The Band of Brothers, just to better understand the psychology, because we were talking about this topic with my husband. And he decided to put me through that movie. We like watching sometimes historical movies. They are very hard to watch. So yeah, I don't know
Okay.
how I'll survive that video. I don't like watching videos where men are being unalived, let's say, like the war related movies. They're really hard to watch, but
Well, okay. And this is just like the military.
Mhm.
Why do they push men so hard in boot camp? To teach each individual man so he can learn that, yep, he has what it takes.
Yeah.
Okay, now they're on this wilderness expedition or 8 days. They're 4 days out. Okay, you're not going to leave this guy because he probably won't survive. But he has to pull his weight because all of us are dependent. It takes 12 men working together to make it through all this, all the challenges.
Mhm.
So, okay, you got some self-doubts. Good. Fine. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Every man has been there, had those self-doubts. So you give him time to figure it out and some encouragement.
Mhm.
You don't enable him to just quit and give up because we're in this together. He's a team member.
Yeah.
And you let the most competent person lead. And then if a different task comes up and someone else is more competent to step up and say, no, we should do this, well, then they'll follow that. Okay, there is a hierarchy, but it's a fluid hierarchy
Yeah.
because you're dependent on each other for survival. Women, it tends to be a very rigorous hierarchy when you get a group of women.
Well, as long as she survives herself and each woman is for herself there, just kill the rest of the women so that you can preside and survive, The logic is there, guys.
It's pretty cutthroat in women's communities, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's very, very competitive. They try to pander it. They try to, like I say, what they are doing is they are converting most young women into publicly prancing horse, and it's not good. I mean, like the number of women that I see who are falling under that trap is just obscene. There are so many young women who will do as they are told by the female community, and then like what will they do afterwards when they hit the wall? They never think about it. And women don't care. Women don't care about the future of other women. Shit, they don't.
Right.
They barely care about the future of their own. They're so
Okay.
short-sighted.
Let's keep going.
My categories kept failing. Spent an evening observing a poker game, high stakes, invitation only. These weren't professional gamblers, just wealthy men who played seriously. Expected toxic masculinity, expected risk-taking as dominance display, instead found rigorous probability analysis and emotional control. They respected each other's skill, studied each other's tells. The competition was real, but the community was stronger. One player lost $40,000 in 2 hours. He took it without visible emotion, complimented the hands that beat him. Nobody gloated, nobody performed. The winner bought drinks, and they analyzed interesting hands together. The loser contributed to the analysis of his own defeat, turning his loss into collective learning.
Oh no, we
that's
gotta
a
watch
long one.
two.
Next time I should show it because I have a paid member.
Asked one of the players why they did this.
Yep.
He said, "Iron sharpens iron." Seemed like a cliche until I realized he meant it literally. They were each other's training partners, pushing each other to better play. The money was just the mechanism that enforced honesty. Visited a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym, advanced class only. Spent 2 hours watching men choke each other unconscious. The intimacy was startling. Bodies intertwined, complete vulnerability, absolute trust. They'd fight until someone tapped, then immediately help each other up, explain what worked, show the detail that made the difference. Watched a black belt destroy a purple belt for 6 minutes. Completely technical domination. Then spent 15 minutes teaching him the exact techniques he'd just used against him. No holding back in the role, no holding back in the teaching. The purple belt thanked him with genuine gratitude, saw newer students getting smashed by advanced students, expected resentment, expected humiliation. Instead, saw hunger to learn, excitement at seeing the gap they could close. The hierarchy was clear and nobody pretended otherwise. But the hierarchy was also permeable, based purely on skill. Everyone knew exactly where they stood and what they needed to improve. The feedback was delivered through physical domination. Couldn't be argued with. Couldn't be politicized, just reality. One of the instructors asked if I wanted to try. Politely declined, said I was just observing. He shrugged and said, "You can't understand it from outside." Wanted to argue, but knew he was right. Months into this research, my article was in shambles. Had hundreds of pages of notes that contradicted my thesis. Kept trying to find the exploitation, the toxicity, the fragility. Found competition, found hierarchy, found exclusion, but also found competence, growth, genuine brotherhood. The bonds these men formed were real, forged through shared struggle, tested by direct challenge. They didn't perform vulnerability, they practiced it functionally, admitted weakness in order to fix it, asked for help without shame because helping each other made everyone stronger. The communication style I'd always read as aggressive was actually efficient. Direct feedback was a gift, even when it hurt. Especially when it hurt, because that's when it mattered most. They trusted each other enough to be harsh, cared about each other enough to be honest. The spaces excluded me, not because of arbitrary discrimination, but because they required something I didn't have and couldn't develop from outside. The shared experience, the tested competence, the proven ability to handle direct challenge without breaking. You couldn't think your way in, couldn't theorize your way to belonging. I had to earn it through demonstration. Attended one final frontier group meeting. 4 months after my first visit, I'd been to dozens of different male spaces. Walked in with my certainty shattered, my frameworks in pieces. Christopher found me during a break, asked how the project was going. Told him honestly, I had no idea how to write it anymore. He nodded like he'd expected this. Said, "You came here believing you already understood, that you just needed evidence for your conclusions. Wanted to deny it, but couldn't." He continued, "The hardest thing is realizing there are rooms you'll never enter, not because someone's keeping you out, but because the price of admission is something you can't pay."
Oh,
Asked him what
that's
he
a
meant.
good one.
These spaces
Wow.
exist because men need them.
Uh-huh. Well, this is what women try to do. They come in, they think that they understand everything, they know everything, but they're not willing to pay the price of admission because they're not willing to learn anything. They don't have the humility to just shut up and listen. And
They just want a free pass to enter the room of
exactly.
success without paying the price to do it
Without
or doing the
exactly.
hard work.
And whatever they don't understand, it was running, I wrote a thought here. Whatever women don't understand about men, they call it toxic masculinity. Instead of
Sure.
trying to understand, like ladies, try to learn. If you really want to help men, if you really want to understand what men are going through, you have a long way to go.
Yeah, I think it's going to come up next. Let's see.
Mhm.
Not because we're excluding women, we're including each other. That's different. We test each other in ways that would be called toxic if you were watching, but they're not toxic to us. They're necessary. We communicate in ways that seem harsh because we trust each other to handle it. We compete because competition makes us better. We submit to hierarchy because we respect competence. And we do all of this away from evaluation by people who don't understand the purpose. Felt anger rising, started to argue. He held up a hand. You've spent months observing. You've seen men being genuine with each other. You've seen us thrive. And you still can't quite accept that maybe, just maybe, we know what we need better than you do. That's the gap.
Oh, man. Men know what men need better than women know what men need. Oh, who'd have thought?
I know, right? No, those virtuous church ladies, they know what men need, and they will tell you guys. Just go on Twitter. I've been debunking their bullshit hard. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get
Okay.
one day. I'm going to get in a big trouble, Steve. I'm going to get us in a big trouble with the Tretcons. I'm going
Hey.
hard after them.
I'm sure that's true because women will always get a man into trouble.
Mhm.
Okay, let's continue.
Gap you can't cross. Not because you're a woman, but because you're so invested in your framework that you can't let it go even when the evidence contradicts it. The words hit like physical blows. Walked out of that building in a daze. Sat in my car for an hour, staring at my notebooks. Months of observations that demolished my assumptions. I'd watched men supporting each other in ways I'd never acknowledged were possible. Seen them succeed not despite their masculine culture, but because of it. The directness, the competition, the hierarchy, the physical testing, all of it served purposes I dismissed as socialization or performance. But it wasn't performance, it was function. They'd built cultures optimized for growth, competence, genuine connection. And those cultures required exclusion to function. Not exclusion as discrimination, but exclusion as boundary maintenance.
Mhm.
The spaces worked because everyone in them had paid the price of admission.
Mhm.
Shared the assumptions, spoke the language, understood the rules. My presence changed the dynamic, made them self-conscious. Even when they tried to ignore me, they were performing for an audience. The real magic happened when I wasn't there, in the spaces I could never fully enter. Spent weeks trying to salvage the article. Wrote draft after draft, trying to fit my observations into some framework that preserved my worldview. Everything came out dishonest. I'd witnessed something real and couldn't explain it away. Finally wrote something true.
You're going to be married.
So it's an article.
I do.
An article written by a woman,
Described
right?
what I'd seen without trying to explain it through my
This is a man who wrote a story
Uh-huh.
about an article that a woman was writing. None of this actually happened.
But it's so realistic. It's hard to believe that it didn't happen.
Well, right. It's a work of fiction. Okay.
Mhm,
Fiction
mhm.
means writing something that never actually happened. That doesn't mean the concepts in here are not true.
Mhm. So this is the article that was written by a man in response to what a woman wrote. Yes.
No.
No?
It's a story written by a man about a woman who is going to do this article.
Ah, okay, okay. I see. I get it now. Mm-hmm.
It's a work of fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Written by a man pretending to be a woman.
To be a
for the
woman.
sake
Yeah,
of this
I
story.
understand.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
usual lens, submitted it to my editor. She called me 2 days later, concerned. This doesn't sound like you. What happened to the critical analysis? Told her I'd done the analysis and it had complicated my conclusions. She suggested I refocus on the structural issues. Translate, ignore what you saw, write what you planned. Pulled the piece instead. Couldn't publish something I no longer believed. Couldn't defend my old positions after seeing what I'd seen. The humiliation wasn't public, it was private. Sitting alone with my notes, confronting the reality that I'd been wrong. Not wrong about everything, not wrong about structural barriers that exist, but wrong about understanding men, wrong about these spaces, wrong about my certainty. I'd spent years writing with authority about male behavior, male culture, male power, and I'd fundamentally misunderstood it. Missed the complexity, the functionality, the genuine value, saw only what fit my framework, and dismissed the rest. The men I'd observed weren't performing masculinity, they were living it. And it worked for them in ways I'd never acknowledged. They'd built spaces where they could be fully themselves. Challenged, tested, pushed, supported. Where weakness was temporary and fixable, not identity. Where hierarchy was earned and respected, not resented. Where competition made everyone better instead of creating winners and losers. I'd watched them thrive in environments that would have destroyed the cultures I valued. Direct feedback without emotional cushioning would have felt brutal to me. Physical competition as bonding would have seemed aggressive. Hierarchy based on competence would have felt invalidating. But to them, it was oxygen. The realization that cut deepest. They didn't need my approval, my understanding, my validation. These spaces existed and flourished completely independent of my ideology. My frameworks were irrelevant to their reality. I could write articles critiquing them, and they'd keep thriving. Because what they'd built actually worked, served their needs, developed their abilities, created genuine bonds, and I would never be part of it. Not because they hated women or feared femininity, but because the spaces required something I couldn't provide, couldn't be what they needed from each other. Sitting with my failed article, months of research leading nowhere I could use, had to confront the arrogance of assuming I understood, the entitlement of demanding access to spaces that weren't for me, the ideological rigidity that made me see everything through one lens. Christopher had been right, and I hated him for it. Hated him for the condescension, for the knowing smile, for being proven correct. But mostly hated.
Oh,
Sounds like a woman, huh?
what a female reaction. She hates being corrected.
I
Not,
know, right?
oh, thank you for, now I finally
Guiding
see it.
me. Yeah.
Thank you for your harshness. No, it was, I hated
What,
him for
Steve?
it.
You expect a woman to thank you for your harshness? Come on.
Okay, let's keep going.
that he'd given me exactly what I asked for: access, observation, the truth of these spaces, and the truth had destroyed my certainty.
Morning, Pete. Coffee's
Another
on
one?
and your Uber's on its way.
You know, I've been thinking maybe I should just go by
I started over with my writing, stopped pretending to understand what I'd only observed, stopped claiming authority on experiences I hadn't lived. The humiliation was in the privacy of my own mind, knowing I'd spent years being wrong with confidence, that every article I'd written with such certainty was built on incomplete understanding, that the men I'd dismissed as fragile or toxic or threatened had actually built something functional and valuable that I couldn't touch. Never published the article. Couldn't figure out how to write honestly about what I'd seen without dismantling my own credibility. Couldn't defend my previous work while acknowledging what I now understood. So I sat with it, alone, with notebooks full of observations that contradicted everything I'd built my
For a
career
moment.
on.
She
Evidence that
couldn't- she couldn't admit she was wrong. This is why the article never went live. She never published it, because admitting that you were wrong about something,
No,
publicly.
she wanted, actually, in the story, she wanted the article published,
Yeah,
but the editor, who was another woman,
of course,
no, we can't share
we
that.
can't share that. Well, she
So-
could have shared that article elsewhere, but then she probably would be fired from the
Right.
publishing company. Mhm.
When an enlightened woman tries to bring truth into other women,
Mhm.
other women will actively exclude her, destroy her, trash her, whatever. So a woman cannot bring truth to other women,
Women,
because it's
yeah.
all the ideology of
Well,
the
there might
feminine.
be, they can't bring it to a female community. There might be, I just want to give the benefit of that to a couple of women, maybe, who are watching the Emma, maybe.
Yeah.
She's actually reading my article. So there might be a few individual women who will be looking for truth, because they will be
Yes.
fed up with the bullshit around them, right? They will be
Yes.
looking for maybe some solutions and researching. But yeah, if you try to educate the community, like female enlightenment, somewhere like in the belly dancing community with like me, and just an example, okay? No, you'll fail miserably. They won't.
See,
They
you
will hate you, they will kick you out.
You can relate to and educate other women that have been excluded.
Well, maybe you
You
can.
cannot educate the group.
Yeah.
You can educate a few individual women who have been excluded from the group, as you have been.
Yeah, maybe. But even then, it's like if they had similar experience, because with women, I think it's based on their also personal experience. They have to resonate with you, you know. So yeah,
Right.
maybe then you can kind of unite with them. But yeah, good luck with that.
Okay.
Even
We got 3 minutes left.
okay, let's watch it.
Come on.
And might actually know what they need. That masculine culture might serve purposes I'd never considered. That exclusion might sometimes be about inclusion, not discrimination. That there are rooms I'll never enter, not because someone's keeping me out, but because the price of admission is something I can't pay. And that's not oppression, that's just reality. The final humiliation was accepting it, accepting that I'd been wrong, that my ideology had blinded me, that I'd approached these spaces with arrogance instead of curiosity, and that the men who'd let me observe had known exactly what would happen, known I'd see things I couldn't explain, known it would challenge me in ways I wasn't prepared for, and they'd let me in anyway, let me learn the hard way. Christopher sent me an email months later, just a single line, understanding isn't the same as agreeing, but it's a start.
Yeah.
Didn't respond, but kept the email, kept the notebooks too. Evidence
Okay,
of the
Steve,
day
stop
my
it for a
certainty died.
moment. Stop it for a
And left
moment.
me-
Yeah, that's a great line, actually. Understanding isn't the same as agreeing. I definitely see a lot of women, and I did call it out, and I try to show it in my Anita series, where women from all spheres, doesn't matter, tradcons, church ladies from everywhere, depending on the target audience that they are trying to achieve and the men that they are trying to get, they will agree with the least objectionable truth of the red pill, even, if their goal is to get red pill men, let's say. They will agree with that. Doesn't mean that they understand, guys. They will agree just to get the attention. Okay, it's a great point what he told you there, because like, look, I agree with what red pill guys are saying, especially some factions of the red pill that resonate with me more, right, based on my religious beliefs too. But at the same time, it takes years for women. It takes years. It can take decades to really understand why men are saying those things, what men are going through, to understand the psychology behind all of that.
Yep. Okay, let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
with something harder than arrogance. The humility of not knowing, the discomfort of witnessing something that worked differently than I believed possible, the isolation of being permanently outside spaces I'd seen from within, changed how I wrote, what I claimed to understand, became more careful, more humble, more willing to say I didn't know, lost some readers who wanted the old certainty, gained respect from unexpected places. Men who'd watched me from those spaces, who knew what I'd witnessed. They never said, "We told you so," just nodded when they saw my new work. Recognized someone who'd paid the price of real learning. Still a feminist, still committed to equality, but no longer convinced I understand everything. No longer certain that different means wrong. The men in those spaces taught me something I'd never expected. Not by explaining, but by letting me watch. By thriving in ways I'd said were impossible. By building bonds I'd called toxic.
Okay, can you stop it for
By
a moment?
succeeding through methods I'd dismissed.
Okay, so here he, as if it was her, right?
Right.
Says that the man let me watch. What does it imply, ladies? That you shut up, listen, and learn. You don't preach where you don't understand anything. Men will let you watch. Men will let you observe how men do things. You just have to behave yourself and be quiet if you actually want to learn some things, if you actually want to understand, if you want to propagate your narratives. It's not going to work in the male spaces. It might work on certain individuals, even within those spaces where men have weaker frame, let's say, or they compromise themselves in pursuit of other things. It might work, but
I'll guarantee you it's going to work.
Yeah.
Because when you enter a woman in there, it's men's inclination to simp. There's going to be some man who's going to simp.
Yeah.
But you take all the women out, no women in here, then even the weaker men have no one to simp for. And they will
Exactly.
behave as men. And so you can accomplish something. You get one woman in there, and now men will simp for her, and it changes the whole dynamic.
It does. It does. It's like it pains to see what has been happening to the red pill, honestly, because when I was watching it and I was watching it quietly without talking about it, I was trying to understand and learn. There were only two women who were watching. We started watching. I started personally watching Kevin Samuel's videos,
Right.
and then I shifted to Rollo. I started watching his videos. There were only two women. It was me and it was Sorelita. I still remember. I'm still in touch with her. Sometimes she shares videos with me. It was only two women who were watching there. Well, of course, Pearl was there because she was a big one, right? Everybody knew her. But aside from that, like not that many women. And now what do we see? Like, all of the tradcons, they want to jump in and they want to agree with certain truths that resonate with them. In particular, what my husband wrote on the Twitter post. With the money muscles and some limited game that they approve of, right? This is what Steve was saying. They want you to lead where they want to go already. So yeah, like these women, they will agree that, oh yes, men and women are different. They are biologically, psychologically different. As long as you gentlemen provide for them, as long as they still get their promised princess treatment from you, they will agree. I want to be a well taken care of stay-at-home wife and mother. They will transition from being complete leftists, even or doing the speed limit, like Donovan Sharp calls them. They are still feminists in disguise, doing the speed limit. But they will assume a new mask, and then they will even agree with certain truths that resonate with them, that give them what they want, to get the attention and to get the men that they believe they deserve. And then, of course, the legal system is the same. They will still destroy the man in the process, right? But it won't stop them.
So women will use deception, disguise, and manipulation to get what they want.
Yes.
Men just come in, usually are just used direct. Just are direct about it. Especially when no women are around.
Yeah.
So we got 45 seconds left.
Let's go, Steve.
And by showing me, without words, that there are rooms I'll never enter, not because they hate me, but because they don't need me. And that truth, more than anything else, was the lesson I never wanted to learn, but couldn't unlearn once I'd seen it. The humiliation wasn't public, wasn't dramatic, just the quiet death of certainty and the uncomfortable birth of actual understanding, sitting alone with evidence that contradicted everything I'd believed, and no framework left to explain it away, just the reality, witnessed and undeniable, that I'd been wrong, and they'd been right to exclude me, not from malice, but from necessity, because some spaces need boundaries to function, and I was always meant to stay outside.
If you're starting your holiday shopping a little early, don't sleep on Sephora at Kohl's. They have all the viral beauty sites.
I think that's the end. Yep.
That's the end. That's a fantastic video. I haven't seen it actually. Okay, let's remove it. Wow.
Okay. The guys like that story.
It looks like
it reflects the male experience. But there is one aspect of that story that is complete and utter bullshit. Totally not believable.
What is it?
That a woman
would come to those conclusions.
Would be capable of reaching that level of understanding after observing.
This is what I was thinking. As you were like, wow, it describes like the ideal woman who has some humility at least to acknowledge that, ladies, you are not needed here. Look, I'm not needed here in the red pill. Red pill will survive without me. I either try to help guys. And even then, there are limits to what I can do, you know. But we are all replaceable here.
To the author of that
yes.
story, I don't know who he is. He's a very smart man. Only a man pretending to be a woman for the sake of the story could come up and write that from the female perspective with the male greater intellect of doing it.
This
and
is why
so
I
he had to
asked
understand women, and he had to understand men.
Guys,
so it was artful.
Guys, Steve didn't tell me about this video. I actually thought you were going to show them the other video that you sent to me in the group chat. You didn't share that one with me, so I had no idea. I just based on the like writing style and how women think, you know, I suspected, well, like, was she a woman observing the male space? This is why I asked you while you were the video was scrolling. So yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, this video is also good for men to listen to. Because men don't consciously realize this is going on. This is just reality. This is just how it is. We don't realize from, you know, this is kind of a third-party view of male behavior from the pretend eyes of a woman. And so it helps men to learn more about why men do things the way they do. And go, wow, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, now I understand what I do and why I do it a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, and also the audacity that women have, you know, just come in, barge themselves into the male space and immediately try to change everything. It's like, no, ladies, it's not your space to begin with. You can try and change something in your female fucked up communities. Go there, you know, like go preach there. But in the male space, you have no say. You have no authority. Men honestly shouldn't even, well, they can listen to you, but they shouldn't be acting upon what you say. The best thing you can do is refer men to listen to other men. And this is what I try to do whenever I give advice. You know, I always ask guys to follow you.
Now, you wanted to talk about female communities.
Well, I was trying to show the difference there. Yeah. Do you have a video for us?
No.
No? Okay.
No, we can probably
based on my experience.
Do you want to talk about your experience?
I'm salty about it, Steve, because you did read my article, right? I did mention there how much time, how much investment I put into learning how to do belly dancing, teaching how to belly dance safely and effectively. And I was never a stage performer, and I never wanted to be one, because like back then when I was taking the classes, they were not overly sexualized. I was taking them with a private teacher, and then I was taking other courses and classes. But, you know, because it's like everything is online now, I did a couple of posts inviting women to join us for the classes. And yeah, the amount of hate I got from the women in that community was pretty insane, guys.
Right. Now, have you thought about this? Who talks about mental point of origin?
Origin? Rollo talks about... Oh, Red Pill guys talk about it. Like frame? Or...
yeah, I am my own mental point of origin. I am who I am. You can like it or not.
Yeah, I know Rollo talks about it in his book.
So you are different than that. You are not your own mental point of origin. Because this criticism of your belly dancing, you are taking it personally. And how are they seeing me? And maybe I should change what I'm doing because I'm being criticized and it might affect me over here.
Yes, Steve, I am.
Okay, it's an external influence that's affecting you. Whereas the male standpoint would be, no, I'm doing this for my reasons. Fuck you.
Well, I still decided to cancel the classes for my reasons because
I know. I know, but the reasons are coming
Yeah.
from the outside. And okay, it's a female way of looking at it.
Yeah,
I'm not being critical. I'm just pointing out the difference. I'm not saying you're wrong for canceling them.
Mm-hmm.
But this also shows a difference in the
How
mental makeup
view
of
it.
men and women.
Yeah.
And a woman cannot behave as a man because the price
She's
is
a
too
woman.
high. It won't
Yeah.
work.
Well, and I mean, like, to what extent? Okay, I can keep fighting them, but then it's like, is this was the fight with them? I want to change them, and like they will keep
Right.
trashing me, and then they will come if I got criticized. It wasn't just one woman. I ignored when it was just like one woman. Like, it's a bunch of them, you know. And I'm like, okay, this is a great example. First of all, to show to women, stay the fuck away from the female communities. They are not fucking safe for you, ladies. Okay. And then, like, the moment you try to do it your way because you think that this kind of format works best for you, and there might be an audience for you to teach it to, and there were a few women who were enjoying those classes, you know, how I taught them, because it was a fusion. I really love Latin dance, I love salsa, so I was fusing both of them. And the pure belly dancers, you know, so they call themselves, they didn't like what I did with belly dancing, you know. So yeah, but at the same time, is it worth for me to keep fighting them, or can I teach it elsewhere, like where it's a closed environment when nobody will see it? I can practice it myself off camera.
What's the solution? Men have a solution to this.
Well, if I were a man, let's say, like, I would.
Okay, this solution works.
This wouldn't.
This works for men and women. What do men do? What has Rich Cooper done? What did he do to stop the trolling comments?
What?
You have to be a member of his site to be able to post in the chat comments. Costs $1 a month. What did Joker do?
Mm-hmm.
You want to see the private? Okay, we got this private group over on Locals.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a man can hang out and we can't be criticized over there. That we got a door and you got to pay the fee to get into the private room.
Yeah, I agree.
Where it's men only.
Well, but then, you know, the women who like, and this is what actually women want, and it's not as criticism to the women who were attending the classes. They like everything for free, you know, but they are not. Once you start monetizing it, like closing the door, who is going to buy it? You know, that's another.
Well, maybe men will pay for the privacy because we've had too much time interacting with women.
Yeah, but I'm not making this classes, Steve. I'm not making this classes for men.
Probably will not. Women won't pay for that. They have too many other expenses, you know.
Well, they have other expenses, and then there are so many other free. There are so many other free classes that they can attend. It's like they may not see the value in this, and that's okay. Yeah. In the end, fitness industry is not the one that you need to survive. I mean, it's good to be healthy and fit, of course. You know, you need to take care of your body, right? But it doesn't stand on the same level as the shelter, as the food, you know, that you actually need to survive. You can live without fitness. Right. It's a luxury. It's a luxury industry, and this is where, like, they are so competing against each other. With the women in these female communities, they're like, "Well, I'm trying to steal your clients. No, I'm better here. I'm a better whore. Basically, look at me. I'm prancing here on social media." And if you put belly dancing, this is what you will see: a bunch of women in semi-naked clothes dancing all over the internet, basically like doing all of the when they are acting, they are I think in my mind they are overdoing it, but who am I to tell them, okay, that they are wrong? There is another way, like how you can do it, you know.
It doesn't matter what the theme of the whatever woman's
But-
community.
But it's like
going to
essentially
be that
they
anyway.
are competing. They are competing for
They
male
compete.
gaze.
The ladies' aid at the local
Mhm.
church compete
Yeah, they do.
with
They
each
do.
other. There's a pecking order. It's the same dynamics, different venue, same dynamics.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're at about an hour and a half. I think we should make this a short stream this week.
A short stream. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Because we don't have
Okay.
Nick here to bounce ideas
Yeah,
off.
I know. It's just two of us. Okay, Tacticus has a question. What will females not compete over?
Okay, I can answer that.
Go for it.
They will never compete about doing the hard jobs.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Shoveling snow in the
Mhm.
driveway. They're not going to compete over that. Oh, you know, that high-paying job pumping out porta potties. No, they're not going to compete for that.
They might. I mean, well, look, and this falls down to like women would much rather share a guy than being married to a beta, right? They are kind of competing to be the boats and hoes. Do you remember that episode that we did?
Sure.
Then all of that prancing, all of that on social media, like with everything that they do, they all dance, you know. And as we are headed into harder times, I think we will see more naked skin. What fascinates me usually, and it used to be the case on Instagram in particular, you wouldn't be allowed to swear. And you know, I swear because my husband swears, you know, so I use shit quite a bit. And then in those short videos, it would just block me, you know. But then I see the semi-naked chicks. For them, it's okay. It's okay to be like a prince in public or on social media. For me, it's not okay to swear. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to finish that article. I'll publish it. It will be more in depth of my experience with female community, and yeah, kind of like to show the difference between the two, and what women destroy, and this is how they destroy their families. This is how they destroy their own communities. It doesn't take all women. I'm not saying all women in those communities are evil and bad. I've encountered a couple of good ones. You know, it's just they don't view it because they are there for themselves, not like a team, like men view it, right? They're still competing against each other, and a couple of women can really damage the whole thing. They can kill all of the incentive and motivation for people to even bother and try, you know. And fighting them is just insane. I'm not going to fight them. It's useless, it's pointless, you know. I'll be wasting my energy on what? To get more hate and criticism from them? Fuck you, ladies, bye.
Yep.
Nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to deal with a toxic woman. And the belly dancing community, as sad as it sounds, it's become very toxic. It's become very toxic. You should watch your own community, ladies, and see what you are doing to the outsiders of your own community. Yeah, before you come into the red pill and start changing everything, like, oh, bend to my will. I want these subservient imbeciles to serve me. No, you have your own community. Go around on social media, get some likes from simps, and you know, be happy.
Now, Elena has just told us how things should be in the land of should be.
Yeah, I know.
Don't expect any of this to happen because
not
women are not going to change and behave any differently than they're behaving right now.
Just because I say and fume, they're not going to change, guys. You know, nothing can change that. Yeah. Emma says, The usual female double standards, Elena. Shocker, huh? Yeah, I know, right? It's okay. And like, see, they will even hold you to your own higher standards, but they won't hold themselves and each other to that standard, you know?
They're not holding you to your higher standards. Not
Oh,
really.
they,
No, no. Here's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They listen to your standards,
Mm-hmm.
put those in their Rolodex, then watch something you said over here. And now they're using your standards as a weapon against you to say, see, you're not being consistent.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
exactly
their
what.
motivation is
Yeah.
not to hold you to higher standards. It's to criticize and belittle you so they can feel more powerful.
Yeah, it's not even holding. Yeah, they don't hold you to your standard.
They don't care whether you
Yeah.
adhere to your standards. They just want to belittle you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and this is how women operate. Luke Perry says here, Rollo covered Erica. Okay, well, let me bring it up. Erica Kirk on his last show. We all love Charlie, but we agree that Erica Kirk is her leather chirp pants. Shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and
there's a motivation to her wearing those skin tight leather pants, and it's a female motive. I don't know. It's corrupting. And now, she's gonna lead TP USA.
oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. A woman takes over a male organization. Now she wants to bring her skin tight leather pants in there.
Yeah.
Okay. You can just write off TP USA right now because you got a woman leading it, which is bad, and then a woman trying to use her body to sexualize it. And oh man.
Yeah, well, and then she, oh gosh, I did call her out. She was saying something to women that only commit to him if he deserves you, if he earned you, if he provides you with all of those things that you so deeply do. Basically, she's spreading more entitlement. She's spreading more entitlement for women. And I did call her out. I got so much hate, guys, on Twitter. This is why I highly recommend you to follow me on Twitter. Sometimes I get in trouble there. Yeah, and a lot of women in particular, they didn't like what I said, because I did call it out that the message that she was sending out to women, it just leads to more entitlement and delusion in women. And for women to be promiscuous women, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Tacticus pointed out here. Hold on here. Boss babe, hot pants, gonna tell men what to do. Exactly. She already is preaching and telling men how men should serve women. Yeah, and like, if I realize it's like if women were worthy of serving, but they are not. Objectively speaking, like most of them run through public wars. It's just a different mask that they wear.
Hey, why not a leather miniskirt? That leaves too much to the imagination.
Yeah, that one would be obvious. She could get away with the tight leggings.
Well, yeah, but tight leather pants shows more curves than a leather miniskirt.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's what I mean. Leather pants do not leave much to the imagination.
Yeah. Yeah, the leather skirt, she's still a trad wife or widow, trad widow, right? Can we call her that?
For now.
For now. We'll see for how long, right?
Yeah, there may be intentions with the way she hugged JD Vance. There may be intentions there. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody wrote here. I have no problem older men liking younger and younger men liking older women. What I don't like is the money involved. What do you think about that one, Steve?
Older men.
Liking younger women, maybe, and the younger men liking older women.
Yeah. Fine. Whatever. Money is always involved.
It is involved
because
mm-hmm.
that is a critical factor in the human motivation. And it affects the potential, the value of the opposite person.
Yeah.
So money is always going to be involved. Okay. Should it be so? No. Do I have a problem with it? Yeah, I'm from a moral standpoint.
Well, and if you look into marriage from traditional standpoint, and I think we talked about dowry that was present before we switched from dowry to non-dowry society.
The amount of money. Yes, the amount of money is insane.
Yeah.
It's used for propaganda purposes, gold diggers. You know what? There's a lot there. But you know, again,
well, I would say if traditional in general, if traditional women want to marry, and if they want a commitment from a traditional man, and there are way more traditional men out there than traditional women, what do they offer besides on the table? What's their dowry? Ask them the dowry and ask their parents for the dowry, because then it will show you their attitude towards you. It will show how she views you. Does she view you as a walking ATM, the pumping money machine, you know, or is she actually contributing into her marriage?
So young men are avoiding marriage, or they look at marriage with an entirely different eye and a different perception. They still want to be married, but not under the current guidelines. Dowry is being talked about now. It wasn't talked about 5 years ago. There is a huge increase in awareness and what young men are talking about. Young men will be middle-aged men, will be old men eventually. So the world is changing. We are winning the battle. And lots of people are getting really upset now.
Yeah. Well, Luke Perry here says another good point Rollo had was the Hindu religion has the lowest divorce rate. Okay. Non-Orthodox Christians. That I might actually agree with. Therefore, the only solution is for us all to embrace the Hindu religion. I wish we had Nick today. What do you think about it, Steve?
Okay. True, but the conclusion is false. What is different about Hindus? Oh, Hindus are from India. It's a more class society. There are not options for women to do otherwise. It's probably, I mean, I've seen no proof that it's the Hindu beliefs that cause them to stay married. It's just the lack of access to opportunity, or those women do not have power.
They don't have power. Exactly.
The Christian women have power.
Okay.
The secular women have power in our society.
It depends.
Is it the Hinduism that's keeping them married? I don't think so.
I think it's the culture and the norms and the laws also. Because, if you bring Hinduism here, and this is what yoga community were trying to do, like to introduce some Hinduistic narratives into the yoga practice, you know, like it doesn't change. It's not going to have the same effect as it being practiced in India
Okay.
versus here because the laws are different.
Okay. This is a criticism of me. Says a man who hasn't been to India. Yep. Okay, you're right. I've not. I do know a little bit that things are changing in India, and some of the divorce laws are nasty. There's some nasty stories.
Nasty divorce laws.
So-
Okay, guys, we
So
actually
I think India is coming into the Western thinking in their legal system. I don't think the Hindu women are going to have a different divorce rate much longer.
yeah, that's
Now,
a good
correct
point.
me if I'm wrong. I mean, I still don't know much about India or Indian people, so I'm open
If
to
you are
be
interested,
corrected.
guys, Steve, if you're interested, we did a while ago, we actually had an Indian guy. We took the yoga training together, Pikia. We were debunking a lot of bullshit on social media and in general in our society. Long time ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, this is when we did it, and we talked about India a little bit, and he said that during his time, and he's an older guy, he's in his 60s, he had an arranged marriage with the lady. They stayed married, but then when they moved out of India, they came here to the US. Shortly they broke up, you know. And he was saying that in India most of the marriages were arranged, but there are issues also associated with that, so it's not all great.
So I don't think the solution to the answer to the divorce problem, in other words, to stop women from divorcing men, is to be found in religion. Now, I do think you should be Christian. I think it's true, but I don't think the solution is found in just joining a certain religion. I think it's really the man needs frame and dominance, and we have to basically return to a patriarchal system.
Yeah.
And it's patriarchy itself, with practiced in any particular religion doesn't matter. It's the patriarchy, which is an enforcement of boundaries, and it's male power and male dominance. You know what? It's a blunt answer right there. Most people won't like that answer.
I agree with you,
My
Steve.
conclusion.
I agree with you. Without patriarchy, there is no family. We've talked about it before. And without the family, the society collapses. And it's based on the man's legal authority to execute upon his natural authority that is very limited today, especially in the current Western system here, with the current laws that support women and not blindly trust women. Yeah.
The more options you give women,
Yeah.
the more they will take those options.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, I'm not advocating people stay together in an unhappy marriage. But somehow, women are happier when the man is dominant. Because then she can actually, she trusts him more to keep her safe because she sees his strength.
And it's not this kind of fake dominance where he leads her where she wants to go. It's not what the ThreadCon guys are telling you.
Right. And we're going to touch on this
on Wednesday.
Probably more. I don't know. We could. You want to do the Wallenberg effect next week?
Sure, why not?
You don't even know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but I'm curious. Yeah. So tell us, what is it?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, you'll have to wait until Saturday to find out.
Right.
Okay. Join us,
I
guys.
will give you a clue.
Okay, well, yeah, give us at least something, Steve, to think about.
It's something that you heard of that we've talked about under a different name?
What was that thing about?
What?
You've talked about so many things under a different name.
Oh, the thing we talked about under a different name rhymes with name.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. You've talked about so many things.
What things have we talked about that rhyme with name?
Name, frame,
Yes.
game.
What's the other one? Yes.
Okay.
So now you've narrowed it down. It has to do with one of those two.
Okay, Luke is thinking, yeah. Look, I'm also scratching my head there. I guess we'll have to find out next week.
You can, hey, if you want to know, look it up.
Uh-huh.
Wallenberg effect. It will come
Oh.
up. Wallenberg.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll check it. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Oh, yeah,
we've
thank you.
confused people enough.
Yeah,
now.
you've confused everyone now. Guys, come back to clarify your doubts next week. Steve is going to tell us more about that Wallenberg effect. Did I say it right even? Anyway, remember to please like, share, and subscribe. Please check the recent Anita series. Okay, I did share them on Donovan Sharp's Discord too, to show you the manipulations that women use to get the men that they want. Okay, they use these manipulations on red pill guys too. Okay, or any man that they want, really. You know, they might just need to do more work for the red pill guys. So yeah, check those episodes. I hope that you enjoy them. Let me know what you think about them. And let me share quickly the schedule that we have here. Okay, where is it?
Well, you can read it at the top of your
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't
screen
have to go
already, so
anywhere.
you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to bring
right.
up anything else.
Yes, thank you, Steve. It's good that we have it here. So yeah, join us for deep dive conversations like this one at 9:15 a.m. Pacific on Saturdays. Then for regular workouts from Mondays to Fridays at 9:15 a.m. Pacific. Then join us for my music practice. I'm not a professional musician. I just love playing the piano, the violin, and the guitar. And you can request some songs for me to work on. These are mostly the piano songs that are on my website. And then on Wednesdays, join the Resurgence of Sanity guys at 5:45 p.m. Pacific on their YouTube channel. What are you doing this Wednesday, by the way?
Plutarch is leading it.
Okay. So
it's going to review Enoch Powell and his 1968 speech, Rivers of Blood. A member of parliament.
Okay.
About immigration and what he predicted in those speeches.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see what happened. Did his predictions come true?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and how does it impact what we are experiencing here right now with the immigration issue?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your Wednesday shows always. I try to join as soon as I can after my Pilates class at the gym. Okay, guys are asking what Discord. I did share the videos for Anita series, the recent 2 episodes on Donovan Sharp Discord. So yeah, join Donovan Sharp and TSR community there. He did tell me that it was okay for me to share some of our videos there periodically.
Yeah, we don't have our own Discord.
Yeah, we don't have our own Discord. Yeah, it's Donovan Sharp, but it's all good stuff and content. So you just if you watch his content, yeah, this is where he gets the ideas to discuss and to show the videos for his live streams too. So yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Remember to please like, share, and subscribe. And also, I forgot to mention, you can check my cross-training fitness program on Udemy, and I have more workouts for you on my Patreon. Okay, The links are all in the description box if you're interested. Okay. We'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It was way more fun with more people in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Yeah, and if you are watching the replay, drop a comment for us. Tell us what you think. Okay, and then join the Resurgence of Sanity this Wednesday at 5:45 p.m. Pacific. Okay. Any final thoughts, Steve?
No, it was a fun stream.
It was a fun one.
Yeah, it's kind of it was interesting. I thought it when I first listened to it, I thought it was a true story. I had to do a little bit of research.
Oh.
And I didn't want to mislead anybody thinking that it was a true story and be accused of, man, you're complete
You didn't
bullshit.
tell us.
That's why I told you at the very beginning. It's a story. Didn't actually happen.
Yeah. But it's interesting how men can put themselves in a woman's place and understand what women are going through. Women are incapable. If anything, men are more capable of empathy towards other men and even maybe towards women. I mean, I don't know.
Okay,
But
I have a short quip that explains that.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share it with us?
Sure. Reason can understand reason.
Yes.
Reason can understand emotion. Emotion cannot understand emotion. Emotion just feels emotion.
Yeah. Well, this explains actually the advice that women give to each other. It's not usually good advice because it's based on feelings. It's not based on reason. And I mean, they will reason, they will justify what they feel. These are not the same things as we are talking about, like philosophical reason and philosophical intelligence and wisdom to act according to the virtues, right? It's not the same. It's reason how they justify their feelings, and this is the kind of advice that women usually get from other women. It's all based on, oh yes, I feel your pain, ladies. I've been through that situation myself, and this is how I came out of it. This is what worked for me.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, take care. We had a lot of fun today. We'll see you all next week, and I'll see some of you on Wednesday. Okay, take care. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.
Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far.